Control and negate the emotions that harm and restrict you.
Hello, this is Tony Clarkson from the Sanctuary of Healing, and I'm here with my good friend and colleague Michael G. Reccia. And today is slightly different in that I'm going to have a little more input into the conversation, if that's okay, Michael.
Absolutely. A
All
lot
right.
more input, Tony. Yeah.
And the reason is that my life has been very different from Michael's life. And I've been a psychotherapist for the last 25 years. And during that time, I have realized that negative emotions are a thing that not only stop people progressing in life, stop progression towards a spiritual life, they also make you ill. That is my deep founded belief that behind any serious illness, there will be a stream of negative emotions. We see that time and time again at the Sanctuary. And so, Michael, is that okay with you?
Oh, absolutely. I concur with that.
You can be the interviewer today.
Yes.
And
we should have swapped seats, shouldn't we? Really?
We should have swapped seats,
Yeah.
but I don't think the cameras will allow us to do that.
No, we're very limited.
We're very limited.
Yes, that's my take on emotions as well. Yeah, I concur with that. And that we store up these negative emotions. And also, as Joseph says in his last book, we personify them, don't we? We make children of them, as it were. They are little parts of us that have sentience and are brought into play whenever we revisit them.
It was a beautiful analogy in the, was it the Spaces Between?
Spaces Between, yes.
Yeah, where Joseph, how I took it was that you create, possibly early on in life, possibly in a past life, you create a negative energy, and it can be called anger, it can be called jealousy, it can be called frustration, whatever it is. But a situation happens in your life, and that situation has to be dealt with your brain, your mind, your body. And so this little mind, this young mind, often has to make sense of that's happening out there. And it might be as simple as, that's not fair. You've taken my lollipop off me. Or it might even be seeing a situation of abuse, for instance. I've used the story before where a 2-year-old hears dad come home from the pub and he hears a load of noise downstairs, and he's looking through the banisters and he sees daddy beating mummy up and does not know how to respond to that. If it's a boy, he would want to be the defender of mum. That's built in. If it's a girl, she's going to ask the question, is this how daddies are? Or is this how daddies shouldn't be? And if so, I will never attract one. And in the north of England, people have an expression from Burnley, where I was born, and that is that she always picks a bad one. And that's about a lady that might get into a relationship, and it's an abusive relationship, it doesn't work, and then she leaves that relationship and enters another relationship, and it's exactly the same. And the reason that happens is that there is an emotion holding her in a particular direction. It's a negative direction, but it holds her in that direction.
Yes.
So a common sense is saying, I shouldn't be entering into another of these relationships. But the emotion is saying, I want to release these fear hormones, these chemicals, because this is what you created me for. I am this little sentience called fear, and I want to release, I want to give you more fear. And so the emotion actually overrides common sense.
Yes.
And you go back into it and you do it again, and you do it again and again and again.
And becomes a trap for life.
It becomes a trap for
Unless
life.
we do something about it.
That's right.
Unless we identify those emotions.
That's right.
And I think you've got, well, I know you've got several techniques.
Oh, I'm glad you asked me.
To help people to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the simple things and the first things that people have to realize, and I rapidly got to grips with this early on in doing therapy. The first thing you have to realize is that you're doing it and you're not being it. Most people, they just be it. They be angry, they be fearful, they be jealous, whatever it is, they just are doing it and they can't help, they go into it. The first thing is you've got to spot it, that you're doing it. And the way that I work in therapy is I get people to, even anxiety, I get people, say, in an anxious state, and I get them in therapy to do it, and they can do it. Okay, so they have a particular set of circumstances that creates anxiety. Okay, it might be the dark, it might be being in the presence of somebody at work, something like that. And I get them to think it in therapy. It might be palpitations, it might be that you feel the fear down here. So what we do in therapy is we get the person to access it, and then we get the person to learn all there is to learn about it, so that they know exactly where they experience it. So I might say to them, okay, you think of Fred at work and what he does to you. Yes, I've got the feeling. I'm feeling it now. My heart's racing. My hands are going sweaty. I can feel my blood flowing and I'm going hot everywhere. That's great. What I want you to do now is to close your eyes and tell me where this comes from. And they'll say, well, it's everywhere. Okay. Where is the epicenter of that everywhere? If it was like a volcano, where is the core of that volcano within you? And so the person eventually will be able to access that. Okay. And they might close their eyes and they say, well, it's here. It never is, by the way. And then after a little while of persuasion, they say, oh yeah, it's here, or it's here, or it's here. Okay. And I wonder whether you can access it without jumping into that, and tell me, does it have a color? It's red. Oh, it's red and it's orange. And it's like a flame coming out of a volcano. Very good. And so this that we call anxiety, that is red and orange and comes out. As you get more anxious, what happens to it? Well, it becomes more active. And as you move away from anxiety, what happens? Well, it calms down. The red and the orange disappear. Okay, do that now. Turn it down. And if it was 10 out of 10 before, make it a 5 out of 10. Turn it down. Yes, it's gone calm. I can't see the red or the orange. I can just see the volcano. Okay, think of Fred and turn it up again. And people access that negative emotion again.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're in control.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And that's the biggest thing I can say to people in the beginning. Take control. Mm-hmm. And that's the way that you take control.
And understand ourselves.
Exactly.
So this is where our two philosophies dovetail perfectly, isn't it? Because we're trying to give people an understanding of what they are and how they operate. And most people operate from the surface, don't they? Only.
Exactly.
If you give them the power to operate from within and to recognize what they are and recognize their emotions, you're setting them free.
And the power within comes as a set of tools that you can use.
Yes, absolutely.
And this is just one of them. This is a simple one.
Yeah.
And if you do that as a first step, you're moving back, you're becoming one stage detached from that's happening.
Yes.
You're recognizing it, you're seeing it internally, you're hearing it, you're visualizing when it comes on. And all of a sudden, we're accessing it out here.
Yes.
And it's different.
Yes.
That's the first step.
Yeah. I mean, as I'm half Italian, as you know, and being half Italian, it's sort of built into my genes to have this fiery temper. My father, my mother always used to say, it's like living on the side of Vesuvius. Living with my dad, and he mellowed as he got older. Wow. And it wasn't temper that was directed against me or my mother or anything like that. It was just a state of being. And in my early days, in my teenage years, I couldn't control that temper. But spirituality and understanding what I am allowed me to step back, as you were saying, from that anger, to identify it and say that is not what I am. And I can step back from it. So that I would then get into situations where I think, no, I'm not having that. I'll step back. And isn't it amazing how quickly it diffuses
yeah,
if you
absolutely.
step back from it and
Absolutely.
recognise it for what it is?
Absolutely, it's a huge step.
Makes a huge difference, Tony.
But you actually brought in another more complex part of that, in that I am Italian.
Yeah.
Okay, there are cultural beliefs
Yes.
that you take on, not only your own learnings,
Yes.
but your learnings that have come from that culture around you.
Yes.
And again, that's another thing to be really aware of.
Doesn't mean that I have to give up spaghetti, does it, Tony?
Fritzo,
Oh dear.
risotto as well,
Oh no. Oh no.
and cornettos. Keep away from cornettos, they're the bad ones.
Now, at this point, you would be saying, well, thank you, Michael. So I'm going to say, well, thank you, Tony, for identifying that very important aspect of how we can approach life and improve our lives. And that there, you also have, we have a sister channel, don't we, on YouTube, the Sanctuary of Healing.
Yeah, and we're making that very active
Yes,
now.
yes, where these techniques are explained and examined.
Yeah, yeah.
And if people would like to also subscribe to that channel, that would be an excellent
The
idea.
Sanctuary of Healing, yeah. And I hope that explains something, but I do know from experience that it's the first step. And it's being aware and being able to find out everything there is to know about that particular name on the emotion that is working you. And it's the first step towards it not working you, you working it. So a little bit of a different agenda today. I hope you've enjoyed it from both of us.
Role reversal.
Yeah, and I hope I haven't taken all the limelight from you today, Mike. You're not going to get jealous,
I don't think so.
because we could deal with the jealous.
I don't think so.
No?
I think we could do buddy movies from now on, couldn't we?
We could,
Sort
yeah.
of Starsky and Hutch,
Oh, wow.
or Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, if it was sort of therapist and therapy,
Yeah, therapist.
I could
Sounds like superheroes.
I could get you to, yeah, I could get you to go into your jealousy now. We
There's
could
an
do something
emotional
on that.
situation. Call on therapist and therapy.
Yeah,
And get into the therapmobile.
and I think on that note, we better wind up before it gets too soon. Thank you all for watching. God bless. Bye bye.
God bless.